Here we go.
Welcome back, spookies, to another episode of Slaughter Film Survivors. Before we get into this week's episode, we just released our newest clothing line, Drag Me Back to School. If you guys are interested, we will be leaving the link to the store down below, so you can feel free to support us and our amazing artists by buying our merch. Let's see. Warning, viewer discretion is advised. We will be talking about death, murder, and of course, murder. And spoiler alert, we will be talking about the 2019 Escape Room. So if you haven't seen that movie yet, what are you doing? Go grab your popcorn, watch the movie, and come back. As always, we're your hosts, Jade.
And Scott.
Sohan.
And Tiddles.
Tiddles!
We're gangs all here.
Yeah!
Each episode, we travel through the silver screen, discussing popular and obscure horror movies.
Together, we'll be analyzing their backstories, physical feats, abilities, and any weaknesses to determine our best survival chance. Will we rise as victors or fall as victims?
You decide.
And like we had stated previously, today we are joined by Sohan and Tiddles!
Yeah.
Woo! So, Scott, where are we headed to this week?
We are headed to
New York,
the
New York.
city of New York, of course. So we have a challenge ahead of us with this one, folks, because with an invitation as of completing a puzzle box, we have unknowingly accepted a challenge to win $10,000. Ooh. What is this challenge, you may ask? Well, we find ourselves in a waiting room as of entering the invitation, but it turns out this is where the battle and the puzzle to stay alive begins. Instead of being naive and taking this lightly as if it's a normal escape room, we need to come together and stay vigilant as only one person may walk out of this alive. It's a test psychologically, a test of strength, and we have to take hints as these hints pertain to our real lives and survival. How long can we survive? You decide as we travel through these rooms one at a time, and boy, we have a big team effort for this one. We gotta figure this one out.
Okay, but can you imagine, like, Tiddles, like, how many cats we could buy with $10,000? We could open...
We gotta open up our sustainable cat safari.
Yeah! Kitties!
Buy a tiger. Buy, like, a white Bengal tiger.
Okay, Joe Exotic.
I want a lynx.
We can
Don't
go
you dare!
sit in a room and be surrounded by cats.
Fine,
Just
okay,
one,
Mike
the rest of them would be like normal cats.
Normal
I want
cats.
more than
Tyson.
one normal cat. I want a lynx and a mountain one and a bobcat.
That's
A
exotic.
mountain lion, but Tiddles, that's a short-haired danger floof. Go rip your face off.
If you raise them young, they'll be like cuddle bugs. It was fine.
It's
That's what
fine.
happened. No. Tell me about it. All right, so jumping in, as Scott said, we each received an invitation that we could win $10,000 by escaping an escape room. For those of you who have never played an escape room before in real life, these are not designed to kill you in the slightest.
Oh, and spoilers, this was not worth $10,000. They should have gotten way more to do what they did, but $10,000, okay.
See, in the real world, when you go to play an escape room, you pay the escape room to play. You're given 1 hour to solve all of the puzzles and escape. There are many different escape rooms. I've played quite a few myself, and without revealing where I used to work, I was a game master at an escape room. So I have some hints and tricks that might be able to somewhat assist us. When playing an escape room, you want to make sure that you're vigilant at all times, because you never know what might actually be a clue and what could be a red herring. Usually clues have some sort of attention to them that slightly stand out amongst other things in the room. You also want to make sure that you're remaining calm against the clock, because If you're panicking, you're not going to think straight, which
like
is
this
what we're going to
movie,
need to do
do
today.
not act on your impulses too fast.
And do not act on your impulses. And the final thing that I will state is teamwork. Because if we all want to stay alive, we're going to have to work together. We only have an hour to do this, so we might as well make it a good one.
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
All right.
And the
So,
task is, you have to use what's in said escape room. Just because you destroy it or destroy things does not mean that you complete said escape room. Please do not destroy the merchandise in said escape room.
are you trying to quote the rules from back in the day?
Yeah, I am. Yep.
You do not need to break anything in the escape room in order to escape, so please don't. I have seen some things. And then what I noticed in this escape room, which is also true to escape rooms in the real world, you do not need any outside knowledge to assist you, as everything you will need to escape is inside the room.
Unless
However,
it's a themed room.
unless it's a themed room and somebody's already drank the water that you need. Usually that's not the case. Usually they don't just leave water, and also usually they're not trying to kill you. So
Yeah.
hopping right in, our very first escape room is going to be the waiting room oven. I think this one's going to be pretty easy for us to get out of. I think we have a good chance with this one, because there wasn't really that much to solve.
Just had to search through things, find a screwdriver, and then find a key.
And then use the water cups to open the hidden door in the wall. I think we'd be able to get out of that one pretty fast.
I mean, you
Definitely.
think though, because they had to literally drink all that water. It had to go all the way down. So you had to use that entire water thing.
Yeah, but normally we probably wouldn't be drinking the water in it, because you're like, I don't know how long that water's been sitting there.
Well, if you got an oven above you, water may keep you alive.
Maybe. I feel like we'd be more focused on trying to get out than staying hydrated.
Yeah, or I think more so if it's cold water, you can pour it on you so you can not get burned as quickly.
Yeah.
Well, I did notice that when the phone rang and they picked it up and it said, please follow all posted rules, that would have been when I was like, all right, there's something in this room that we missed. We need to, like, find all the rules. Which
Right.
is when they found the please use the coasters.
Mm-hmm.
And then they spent way too long holding the coasters to get out.
Like a thing of Twister.
I know, right?
Oh,
Worst game of Twister
yeah.
ever.
That's when it dropped into the floor out like.
So I think we would have gotten out of that room pretty easily. Like, even if we had turned the oven on, I feel like we still would have gotten out of that room pretty quickly, because all we had to do was find the key, a screwdriver, and then, like, put the cups of water on the table before the room exploded.
Yep.
Which is when I think we'd probably start to figure out that something had gone wrong and they were trying to kill us.
So
What I
the
didn't
next.
like is that there was no timer anywhere in the room, so they didn't know the game had already started.
Right, so we're confident we can get out of this first room. So the second room is the cold and frozen ice room.
The Christmas cabin in
The
Frozen Land.
The cabin, yeah.
So after nearly escaping being blown up alive by a flamethrower, we find ourselves up into the next room in a winter-themed cabin.
So the main hint in this was trying to unlock something with a name that was, what was it, like 7, 8, 9 letters or something. So whatever, Rudolph, how many letters that is?
7, yep.
7 letters. Okay.
You'll
So
go down in history.
be from our memory.
Piddles. The code is Tiddles. The answer is always Tiddles.
That's 7 letters.
The answer's
Good work.
Exactly.
The only clue we have is a mirror.
All right, so once we open the lock, then we find ourselves outside, and then we figure out that we walk into an invisible wall. So it may look like a real outside place, but you can't walk everywhere. You hit a visible wall. So,
Yep, so that cabin was pretty dang easy, but what is slowly starting to become more and more of a challenge is that the temperature is dropping as we speak and it is freezing.
And you're on ice.
yeah.
And we're on ice. Man, I'd be tripping and falling.
Would any of us have snuck any items in? That
Mm,
it seems like like the what I forget his name, but he who had the phone, he died first. It's like any one of the characters who brought in an item ended
Someone
up
brought in a flask.
Ben.
Ben. Yeah, he
I think it was Ben.
the guy who went first was the guy who had the most knowledge of escape rooms.
Oh, that guy. That's Danny.
Yeah, Danny. He was the one who went through the ice after picking up the lighter.
Yeah, I thought you mentioned the guy that brought the lighter in.
Nope.
And the liquor. And the cigarettes.
Right.
Just all the shit you don't need in an escape room. Please don't smoke in here.
Well, when it's cold, smoking would be a good idea a little bit.
Yeah, it would be some warmth.
So do we think the four of us would be able to figure out that room? Because there's always a chance the ice could crack and one of us could fall in.
Well, if with one of us searching around and it breaks that hole in the ice, and then we get the fishing
Well,
pole,
we'll have to be together all the time.
Oh yeah.
I would definitely know that you would have to do something with the fishing pole, and then if you guys can figure out how to find that magnet in the polar bear taxidermy thing, if we get the magnet to fish down in there, then I think we could
I
figure
would-
that out.
I
I
would
think
probably-
we would definitely have a tough time trying to melt that block of ice to get the key.
I think I would be the one to find the magnet because I'm a taxidermy geek.
Right.
So I'd be up over there like, oh, so cool.
Can I keep this? No.
Can I keep this? Can I take you home?
Ah, you mind if we? Actually, while we're talking about breaking stuff, why not just destroy the polar bear and take its fur to keep us? Because there was only one jacket,
True.
which means we'd have to switch the jacket in between all of us continuously, or we just all freeze to death. We put the ice block that has the key to the next room in the jacket, wrap it up, and then we all just hug the ice block until it melts.
Yeah, that would be tough to do. Like being
Oh yeah, the
cold
body
already.
heat might work.
Yep.
You think the coat would work?
Might if our body heat together will
Because then we're all still near the jacket, kind of.
I mean,
and then
I'd probably still try to break the ice thing apart a few times if that didn't work. Because that I don't know if you guys realize how hard that would be to melt a block of ice with body heat. That would be.
Yeah, but they were also trying to smash it on the ground and it just wasn't going.
Yeah.
If you could break one of those antlers off of the
No, that room closed.
oh shit.
Right.
Or I mean, depending on the ice, is like we can break off a branch. Maybe the branch is sharp enough to carve out some of the ice quicker too. We could just start.
I'm thinking our best bet would be try to melt it as much as possible, give it a little leeway, because it was a metal box with the ice in it. If we were somehow able to melt off enough of it that we would be able to pick it up and smash it, that might be
Right.
one of our best bets. Because then we wouldn't have to all wait for it. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm a freeze baby, so
Yeah.
I'd get really cold real fast.
I'm
Same.
someone who could sit out in the cold for hours on end and not give a shit.
Yeah, but you would be dressed like how you are now. There's
Yeah.
no coat
Yeah,
except the one.
I've gone out, played in the snow just in my.
And if we are going to use the coat to melt it, I think we should use the outside of the coat. It might be wet on the outside, but it would still be warm on the inside in case somebody needed to use it.
Yeah, save the coat. Yeah, because we're not even dressed at all, and like you said, once it goes below freezing, like he said in the movie, is accurate. If you start going into hypothermia, your mind's it's horrible.
All right, so I'm going to bring back the idea from episode 2, rope.
We need rope though.
Tie each other to rope. You ain't going far.
No, because if one of us breaks through the ice, we're all going and attached to the rope.
Well, wait.
everyone will.
Chittles, you do hunting, right?
Yes.
Would we be able to use some of the trees? Like, would we be able to start a fire?
Yeah.
That'd be tough, but you could. That's a survival thing. It depends.
Depends. It depends. Yeah.
You'd
Like, if the wood's too damp?
you'd need
Yeah.
enough. You need enough
You also will probably
materials
You
to
know,
do that.
kindling for that.
You'd probably burn too much energy trying to start the fire too.
Yeah.
Depending
You'd
on.
have
Well,
to.
say we did sneak in a lighter and we weren't being a-holes. Could we start a fire using the lighter?
Of
Yes.
course.
Most likely, yes.
Well, then I think we'd be okay, because, like,
I think our group would succeed in
as
that lighter part. I think we would definitely use the lighter. We
because,
wouldn't.
like, if we melted the block enough, where, like I said, it has that metal frame, like that metal stuff on it, we could stick a tree trunk, or we could stick a thing through it and set up, like, a little thing, so that not only are we, like, we could try to set up 2 fires, one to melt the ice and then one to keep us warm, because the water dripping off of it would probably set the fire off.
Which means we'd have to start a decent enough fire that wouldn't put it out right away.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't really show in the movie the scenes enough to where how much wood or how many trees were really around for firewood. So there wasn't any dead trees, and it's like trying to think if those trees were even like real or not, or they were just part of the escape room. Like,
Well, that is fair because it was a very strange room. Like you went from being in a building to being in a cabin to being outside.
yeah,
And there were vents. So I'm assuming maybe the wood's not real, but
It could
how
be.
hard is it to make a room below freezing?
Well, the wood actually could probably be foam.
Foam still burns.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, we can like burn our clothes. At least the top layer.
I mean,
I don't know about that. That wouldn't be a good idea.
No?
Cause if it fails, then we'll be in a lot of trouble.
right.
Fair. Well, we could always try ripping off pieces of the cabin itself.
That too. We could probably do that.
Is that against the rules? Like,
They're already trying to kill us. Screw the rules.
I don't think there is any rules.
yeah, that is the rules. There are none.
Yep.
No, I think I like that idea. Taking apart the cabin.
We'd be able to at least get a couple of pieces off that we'd be able to like use to make a fire.
Big boy pieces.
Yep.
All right. I'm trusting you 3 with it because I'm gonna find some Kindle. I'll find some sticks, but I don't think I'll be
Or-
able to like rip off pieces of a cabin.
Or before we even get the lock undone in the cabin, if we have the door open, just throw stuff out from inside before it locks us out.
But we wouldn't know we needed to start fire.
Or find a way to prop the door.
That too. That
That's
could be a
true.
thought.
We could try, but it would automatically shut, which means it'd probably break whatever we tried to put in it.
Right.
And we're also not expecting that the door would have shut on us.
Yeah.
We would have to make sure that we kept the fire away from the vents, though, because when Danny went to the end of the wall, the vents started
Yeah.
and the ice cracked. So we'd have to find something that wouldn't melt the ice beneath us either.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like, think of it that way. He drowned. He drowned. Like, I'm sure the trees are real, because, like, how else did the floor crack and he fell?
They kind of had control over, I think, the ice cracking a little
It's
bit.
like the Hunger Games. Like,
Don't
with
you
the
think?
simulator.
The game master, whoever was in control, I think, had some control over cracking that ice. 'Cause
I think so, too.
Because remember when they were running out to try to escape it, there was mines that just all exploded the ice?
Yeah. But, yeah, I think if we were able to start a fire, I think we'd be able to survive. Otherwise, I don't really see much besides us freezing to death while trying to, like, melt the key.
So, so we can still tell of going to the next room, though. 'Cause,
I think we survived. I think we survived Frozen Land.
Okay.
Yeah. As
'Cause
long
then
as
Now
it's
to the
outside and
challenge.
whatnot.
the upside down billiard room.
The Sky Bar.
Yeah, the tough
A
one.
room in which every time the music stops, a piece of the floor falls down into what appears to be an elevator shaft.
Right.
So I feel like this is gonna be a huge challenge because at one point the entire floor is missing,
Yep.
which means we need to climb high and think fast and move fast and work fast.
And try to figure out within us that the code's gonna be backwards, like the room.
See, this is where I think I'm gonna die because one, I'm scared of heights. Two, I can't hold on.
Same. I'm also afraid of heights.
I'm afraid of falling. I'm not afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Similar.
I think our best bet is if we knew, like, when the first piece of the floor fell, that's when we knew that we had to move fast. Technically, I don't think that the main character had to solve that puzzle. Like, we could have just seen the colors and go, okay.
Brother
I think our
already
best
dead by the time the game started.
Rhombusser signing off.
Literally, I would just throw myself off a building before I got the chance to start that game.
You mean all the way back in the waiting room oven?
Or, well, I could just throw myself into a wall or something. I don't know.
He
Head
just
first.
sits there. He just sits there on the couch.
Try to land. I'm gonna try to awkwardly land.
But
into, like, a
Rhombusser, I
stone
think
wall.
this is where you would be most useful though, because
No.
like you'd be able to like hang off of things with better ease than us.
No. I weigh a lot more than y'all, so that's gonna be a definite no.
But you're like 90% muscle.
That muscle mass does not factor into hanging.
Yeah, that's like
You
stamina.
literally want to be light as a feather when you're hanging.
Yeah, that's some
Me,
stamina.
I would literally fall off I'd fall off and break my neck. Honest to God,
And
I would.
hanging is more of grip strength than
It is.
It's grip strength, and you need to be light. You can't be heavy and be able to dangle for a long time. So yeah, no.
So if that's the plan, okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Rhombus, your goal is to find the most sturdiest place for everybody else, and then I guess I'm the one that's like crawling on the walls and shit.
No, I'd do it.
Uh,
I'd do it.
I think I'd be okay. I think where that one woman went wrong, like she was on the other side of the room. The floor was completely gone by this point. She was hanging onto the pool table. Wouldn't it have made more sense for her to climb on top of the pool table and
If
just
there
go
was-
across that way?
If there was space.
I feel like there was some space though. Like enough to crawl through at least.
Maybe.
Mayhap.
So I think that would be probably like if I could jump, get on the pool table, I could climb on top of the pool table and then throw you guys the 8-ball. And then I would try to jump and hope I made it on the edge and have you guys pull me up.
yeah, just don't throw the 8-ball at me because it's just gonna go right through my hands. I'm just gonna drop. I have butterfingers. I cannot catch.
I could catch.
God, you played baseball. You got this.
Yes, I can. I have very good reflexes, to be quite honest.
So are we thinking that's the plan? If the floor's gone, like stay to the walls, like what the main character was doing, like stay to the walls when she was like doing the puzzles and stuff. I think we'd be able to figure out that the colors matched the pool balls because there was also a huge 8-ball sign in the room and the whole thing was pool themed.
Yep.
So I think we'd be able to figure that out. I think we'd be able to do it. Once we figured out that the code had to be put in backwards and we got the ball, I think the goal would be I put that in my leggings, which I don't think I'd drop it because my leggings can literally hold a bottle of wine, no problem.
This is
So
one
I
of
put
those
that in.
one for all for one for all type of situations. Because we might only have one chance to get this right.
Yeah. So I'm thinking you guys go to safety. Those who did not feel like climbing around, go to safety. Find the door. Stay there. Right? Stay above the floor. Me and Scott would be working together to try and get ourselves the ball. and then I think we could get out if we did it that way. Because you're strong enough to pull me up if I slipped.
Yep.
So Rhombus, Tittles, and Sohan, you guys would just probably wait by the door. Maybe try to lift us up, you know?
Yeah, that works.
What do you guys think? Do you think that's a good plan?
Fail safes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Rhombus is just over by the door having an absolute panic attack.
The problem is, it's like us as a team, it's like only one of us is supposed to walk out. Within the movie, 2 of them did, so I guess we could all.
Well, what I think what we should definitely do is just completely ignore the psychedelic room, because like that, there is no way that
Either that.
anybody but one person would walk out. So I'm just gonna scrap that entire situation. The psychedelic room, there was one antidote hidden in the room, and 2 people had to fight to get it. One person did walk out while the other one was sneakily working on their escape. So we're just gonna cut out psychedelic, because there's no way that would, unless there was antidotes hidden all over the room and we had to work together on LSD to find them.
Or somebody didn't touch the thing to open it up, which is how they got. How it, hit them. Because they opened up the grate, and from touching that, they got it on them, so.
Yeah, liquid LSD does nasty things to you. So I think we could get out of the sky bar if we really worked for it. I would just have to ignore the fact that I was very high up.
Yeah, I know. I hope this isn't like a spin the wheel of death moment, but.
Wheel of pain, the wheel of pain, it's insane. Should I bring in the wheel of pain?
What do you think? I don't know. I feel like. I don't know if all of us. I don't know if all of us can walk out of this one, so I don't. But maybe not on it wouldn't be on random. So I don't know if the wheel of pain would do us justice for that situation. But
yeah. Well, like we always say, the viewers are the ones who decide. So make sure to leave a thumbs up if you think that we're doing okay so far.
Mm-hmm.
So the next room, I call it hospice care.
Yes, and don't make the mistake of thinking you need to make your heart rate as fast as possible. I would not be up for that, so I would not be my decision. Yeah, take the EKG machine and make your heart as fast as possible to get. That would not be my mindset. So that would not be me.
Well, yeah. So when they enter into the hospice room, they realize that they only have about 5 minutes left, before carbon monoxide gets released into the room.
Yeah.
So they were given hints about the heart with an EKG machine set up and those clear
defibrillator. Yeah, defibrillator.
All right. Funny thing is those didn't even need to be used. So that is what we call a red herring, boys and girls. A red herring is when there's something in the room that you think is a necessary clue, but it's actually there to distract you from what you actually need to do. So I feel like none of us would be stupid enough to electrocute anybody.
No. Nope.
And also, I'm prone to having low blood pressure, so I feel like if calm enough, if meditation and calm enough, I think I could get my blood pressure to where it needed to be.
Would any of us feel like we had to start breaking all the cameras off the walls? Like,
well, at this point, I feel like some of us would be panicking because we were just really high up in an elevator shaft and we just about died.
Yes. I think you could do that part, though. Lower the heart rate. That's pretty low, though. That one in the movie, that was a pretty low heart rate. I think
it was at 50.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
I think I could do it. If I meditated enough and I calmed myself down enough, I think I could do it. As long as no one was screaming, we're all going to die in the background.
No loud noises.
Yeah, no loud noises. That one seems like a pretty easy enough room. I think my only concern would be the fact that there was going to be carbon monoxide released into the room in 5 minutes if I couldn't get my blood pressure down. That's a lot of pressure.
It is.
A little unnerving, but I think we'd be able to do it. I think. Like holding your guys' hands and just trying to keep myself calm. At this point, I probably would be nervous because someone's trying to kill us.
Yeah.
We
It's
would have
very
figured that
apparent.
out by
It's very
Christmas
apparent.
Cabin.
Very apparent
Yeah.
by now. Well, after this room would be like the Game Master room if we made it out.
Crushing history. Which I feel like that would probably be one of the more like challenging ones because the room is literally closing in on itself and there's like 5 of us.
Yeah.
So I feel like that the way that guy got out of the room would not be how we got out of the room because
couldn't
not
all
all of
fit
us
in the
can hide in a
fireplace.
fire.
Yeah, we can't all fit in the fireplace.
Right. The thing was is I still can't figure out what he did wrong.
Well, there was a puzzle that he did or didn't do. I don't know if he had to do it, and he just found the second way out, which was the fireplace. But
Actually, now that I think about it, technically after the psychedelic room, when there was 2 people left and he got the antidote and he got out, I feel like he wasn't supposed to get out of that room.
I don't think so.
Because remember
either.
the guy was going to kill him anyway?
Yeah.
So I feel like that last room was a doozy.
He got lucky.
Yeah, he got lucky hiding in the fireplace.
Yep.
So let's say we did make it out. Let's say we all somehow managed to use our wit to get out. We still have the game master to deal with. So what would be our best course of action to take him down?
Just
Yeah, we probably won't have the gun.
I don't know, maybe just rush him and punch his liver and then slam him on his head.
That's where Rhombus comes into handy. We're like, Rhombus.
Just like that'd be the only
Like-
thing I'd be good for. That's it.
This is where we take Rom.
Although I'm pretty sure I'd be dead before then because I would not be fitting in that fire room. I would not be able to get in that fireplace.
Yeah, that's the only thing though, is like the fireplace. But like I'm also trying to exclude situations where I know there was no way out. Much like in certain traps in Saw, you know, when there was like some of them were just rigged. I'm trying to pull out the stuff that was initially rigged for us to die because that's not fair to us.
Yeah.
Well, in Saw, the traps that were rigged were breaking Jigsaw's rules anyway. And that
Yeah.
was Amanda's traps.
Yep. I love Amanda. But yeah, no, so basically this whole escape room that we got invited to win $10,000, surprise, surprise, it's a scam. Much like the Hunger Games, it's set up to choose contestants to come and play for the entertainment of rich people on the dark web.
Also,
Yep.
that sounds like other stuff. So, the Saw is not rigged. Let's see, Cabin in the Woods is one of them.
Cabin in the Woods, that's another great one. So basically, I'm trying to give us our best fair chance, though, because I know there was a couple of rooms in that escape room that were, like, rigged to kill off everybody.
Yeah.
And the only way they escaped because they activated the system purge.
Maybe we could pull a Hunger Games and be like, we're all ready to die. You will have no victor. I did find it really cool, though, in that scene where Ben is in with the Game Master, and then all of a sudden his face, the Game Master's face pops up on player, and then the girl comes back up because she faked her death, and when they came to collect her body, she beat the crap out of them, took their gun, and ran off.
Yep. So he basically.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
She coming in at the right moment saved him, even though he ripped something out of his leg and stabbed him with it, which was crazy. But
Yeah, it was probably a piece of the fireplace.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think that once we got out of the room and to the Game Master room, I think we easily would be able to overtake 5v1. The only issue, though, is that the rest of the international Game Masters would be after us, but we don't have to worry about that for a while.
True.
Because the real question would be, would we stop and continue on with our lives, or would we try to hunt down the people that did this to us?
Tough to say.
I don't know. It
Because
really
they didn't
depends.
start like doing that until like what, 6 months later?
Well, she'd been doing research the whole time,
Yeah.
especially after figuring out that the people who did die were staged.
Somehow, and that's why they're trying to say they were under the influence of something the whole time, and it's like those people didn't exist.
One of them, the guy who actually got electrocuted in hospice care with the remind me what
Defibrillator?
this word is. Yes, the defibrillator. He was posed in a car, and they said he had a heart attack. Amanda, the one who actually fell out of the sky bar and crashed down an elevator chute, was found, I believe, by a mountain. Like she fell off there.
Yep, climbing accident.
Danny, the one who died in the Christmas cabin when he drowned, he was found in a lake. And then, of course, I don't remember what happened to Jason, the one who actually got his head smashed in when he was trying to steal the antidote from Ben. Anyone
forget.
remember what happened to him?
I don't know.
Maybe he was in the car crash. I think the other guy was in a... Yeah, no, he was in the car crash, and the guy that had the heart attack was found in the subway.
Okay.
That's what happened. So if we did die, our deaths would be staged, and no one would ever know the truth about what actually happened to us.
Yep.
Unless you can find a way to mark something on yourself that a coroner can see.
Just carved Dr. Wu-Tang you.
Which was actually an anagram for no way out or something. It was
Yeah.
Yep, no way out. And yet there was a way out, because depending on those of our viewers watching, they might be able to save us. I think we might have a pretty decent chance. We might lose a few people along the way, but I think a majority of us would probably get out with our intuition.
Definitely.
So we're pretty much going up against a system that's pretty much rigged from the start.
Mm-hmm. Like, even if one of us did manage to make it out, they'd still be killed. Because nobody can know what's happening.
Right.
So I guess the only other thing is, should we roll the Wheel of Pain to see who's the lucky individual that lives today?
Honestly, if I was the game master, I would let them go, but if silence. I recognize silence would
Give them the $10,000 and say mention nothing.
There you go.
no, it will get them framed for the deaths of the others.
Maybe.
And what you gonna say? You're gonna say, oh no, we just joined this little puzzle. No, you can't say that to the cops.
Just
All
join
right,
the puzzle.
so I have the Wheel of Pain set up. Shall we see who is our lucky lamb for this week's episode?
Yes.
All right. The Wheel of Pain, the Wheel of Pain, it's so insane. Who is the lucky lamb? Scott! You are the lucky lamb. You were the one chosen to survive, which means next week's episode, you're gonna do the entire thing, right? Like, I get to go on vacation. You're gonna, because I'm dead at this point.
Ooh,
Scott has to do a whole.
I will haunt your dreams with bad knock jokes.
Oh gosh. I'm just imagining it's like Scott's sitting there and it's just all four of us ghosts in the background.
Ghost powers.
Well,
Well,
feel free to leave down in the comments below #Scott if you think that Scott survived this week's episode, or #Slaughter if you think the escape room killed us all. As always, thank you so much, everybody who decided to come in today. Tittles, Rhombus, Somahan, and of course, we're your hosts,
Scotty.
and Jade. And also, we'll be leaving links down below if you guys want to support the artists part of Abstract SFX. So don't forget to check out the new merch. We upload new merch every month, and we are here for you, or we're trying to be, every Sunday.
Yes. Bye, everybody.